news from Saints camp today is that Jameis Winston left practice early. Andy Dalton was running the team in the full team practice part of 11 on 11, and turns out Jameis rolled his ankle, just a tweak there. Doesn't seem to be anything that's significant. Just wanted to go in there, get attention to it as quickly as they could. Let Andy Dalton kind of run the offense. So no massive news there. Jameis Winston should be just fine. Saints will be on the gridiron Saturday against the Houston Texans. We'll have a full preview of that game coming up on Friday's show, and we'll certainly talk to Sharif and Luke later on this week. I was reading up on the Saints front today, early this morning, about C.D. Deuce and that fact that he wants a new contract. He's in the last year of his deal and feels like he's deserved a little bit more. He's out there practicing, working out. It's not like he's holding out or anything, but he wants to get something done. And I look around the Saints secondary, and there's some significant investments there. Obviously Marshawn Lattimore is going to be a high dollar player. You sign Marcus May to a sizable free agent deal. Tyrann Mathieu makes some money. Paulson Adebo on his rookie deal, so that's not significant. PJ Williams is not a guy that commands a ton of cash either, but it's a very, very talented room. And then you add Alontae Taylor in it from this draft. Is C.D. Deuce a guy they should prioritize in terms of spending some more money at that position group?
Yeah, I think he's a guy that definitely fits everything the Saints do on defense. He's kind of their energy guy. Like, he's got to bring the juice. He's got to bring the swagger every Sunday. But is that worth playing top premium cornerback or safety dollar for? I don't think so. You got Jalen Ramsey making $20 million plus a season. You got some of the higher paid safeties. Jamal Adams, they're getting 15 plus. I don't think CD's in that range, but I think there's definitely a world where you definitely need to give him an extension and keep him on this roster. I just don't think it's at top market value, but I definitely think the Saints should make a move and bring him back.
He's a slot corner. That's what he is. You're looking at Lattimore on the outside. Adebo's going to play on the outside, and I think they envision Alontae Taylor as an outside guy in his time in New Orleans. How far along he is, probably not quite there at this very second, even though I think he has had a pretty nice start to his first camp. Then you got Tyrann in the back end. PJ Williams will play dime. Marcus May is going to be a safety. Excuse me. But he's not an outside corner. He's really a third corner. Now, I'm with you. He brings something to the unit that is unique to him. I mean, Cam Jordan is the leader of the defense. Demario Davis is the leader of the defense. Those two guys are the biggest names. But in terms of the energy and the swagger and the confidence, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is that guy. I can remember vividly early on covering LSU and going out to practice, there was a different energy around the Morris Claiborne, Ron Brooks, Eric Reed, Brandon Taylor, Tyrann Mathieu, that DB room, that group. The energy around them was different than any other position group on the field. And they knew they were good. They were tough. They talked trash. They laughed. They had fun with it. They weren't scared of anybody. And that's what Chauncey Gardner-Johnson brings to this Saints defense. I'm not suggesting that nobody else on the defense has some swagger, some confidence, but he's the front of it. And I wonder if there's some value to that intangible thing.
No, there's definitely always value in football. Football is such an emotional game. It takes so much to get up there and get there and do it Sunday after Sunday and Sunday and play at that level. And to me, watching the Saints, and to me, the moment I remember with CD last year is him just smiling in Tom Brady's face, just getting under his skin. And that's stuff that you need out there on defense. Defense, you're not out there to make friends. You're not out there to, buddy with anyone. You're out there to stop people and play with confidence and shut people down. I think with him out there, he brings that swagger. He brings that juice. He's blitzing off the edge. He's causing turnovers. And those crafty type of guys, you can't coach that kind of stuff. So I think there's a world where you definitely should bring CD back. But I just, as you said, being a nickel guy, I just don't think he's going to get the money that he's kind of looking for right now.
That's the thing, is you got to kind of know what you're worth, and I fully understand guys that want to leverage single thing that they can. But as I look at that secondary, and I know that Lattimore's not going anywhere, and I know that Paulson Adebo's not going anywhere anytime soon, and I know that Alontae Taylor's not going anywhere anytime soon, and then you've got your safety positions taken care of. I feel like he could be the odd man out of that equation. I mean, if we've got to allocate dollars everywhere in this salary cap, like Alontae Taylor, who I think profiles as an outside guy, but maybe could slide in and play that spot at a cheaper cost, and you can spend that money elsewhere. This is down the road. Clearly, this year you're going to have CD Deuce out there. That's not the point of the discussion. But I would look at that as Mickey Loomis and go, I don't know. I think I'm okay with the guys that I've got.
Yeah, and I think for me, those are certain positions where either you can go out in free agency and get a nickel corner for a price that's not going to break your salary cap, and you can also draft a guy in the second or third round that can play nickel corner. So that's not one of the premier positions where those guys are very, very hard to replace. But to me, like a lot of things that CD brings to the team, you just can't go draft. You just can't go find those type of guys. So it's a tough spot. I think if CD can kind of, ask for a little bit below market value, and the Saints, I know they value him at a high level. I think they can find a way to get a deal done. But if he's going to the table asking for, and I don't know what he's asking for, by the way,
right,
but if he's going to the table asking for top cornerback money, I don't think the Saints are ever going to do that.
Yeah. So that's and so I want to keep working on this. It's the Saints defense. When we had Luke on like a month ago, and he was talking about the defense, it left a mark on me when he was saying I could see a world where they take a step back this year. I mean, it's been one of the better defenses in the league for a couple of years now. And yeah, Demario Davis is getting older, and Cam Jordan is getting older, and Tyrann Mathieu is getting older. And I could see a world, and if you can't keep these younger guys that you drafted in Davenport and some of these guys healthy because they're never out there, maybe they do take a step back. And then I flip it to the other side and I go, God, look at these names that you keep ratting off that are really, really good players that have been great. Like, why would I expect these guys to kind of fall off a cliff? So I'm a little bit torn on it. I think it was a great comment by Luke. It was thought-provoking for him to say that. I'm just not quite sure what side of the fence I fall on.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and I think that's why you go out there and play the games, because a lot of this stuff is you kind of think something's going to happen one way, and then when the chips fall, they happen a totally different way. But I think I see it just kind of like with LSU football last year, the high ceiling but a very, very low floor. And I think that's going to be the case with this Saints defense, because if Cam Jordan misses a lot of time, and then we've kind of seen Davenport have injury history throughout his entire career, and you take away that pass rush, and then now you got a couple guys in the secondary get banged up, and we see this team get plagued with injuries last year. So that's still on the table for this season. So I think for me, as I'm looking at this Saints defense, I think if they can stay healthy, majority stays healthy for the season, there's a lot of playmakers on that defense, man. There's a lot of guys who can make plays, and I think that's what's going to keep them playing at the level that I think they can play. It's going to be them staying healthy.
I mean, look, Demario Davis is 33. He will play almost all this season as a 33-year-old. Cam Jordan is 33. He just had a birthday to turn 33, so he'll play this entire season at 33. We're not talking about 37-year-old players here. They've still got some time. And look, Cam last year had a statistical resurgence. I'm not going to act like I go back and grade these guys Pro Football Focus style, but statistically speaking, and then in terms of just the highlights he created, 2 years ago in 2020, the stats went way down, and last year they came back up. And so I guess there's absolutely reason to think that he's got some really good football. Same deal with Demario Davis, was uber productive last year, was as good a linebacker as there is in the NFL. So I think I probably lean more towards, it's a really good defense, but I do understand the thought of man, we got some key guys in their 30s here, and that's when at some point the clock catches up to you, unless you play quarterback in Tampa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we all know Father Time is undefeated except for that guy in Tampa, but I think for the Saints, they're hoping that Father Time doesn't knock on the door this season. If it can happen next season or the year after that, that'd be great for them, because they got a lot of veteran guys on that defense that's played a lot of football. And sometimes with that, Father Time tends to knock on the door. But I still think a lot of guys, especially watching Cam Jordan kind of be rejuvenated last season, Demario Davis, to me, one of the best middle linebackers in all of football. These are guys who are extremely talented at their position. So even if there's some drop-off, they're still probably going to be better than most of the league. So I think that's kind of where the Saints sit right now. And I think being majorly healthy right now is a great thing for them. They just got to do that going cruising into the season.
A couple more talking points from Saints camp today. Mike Thomas, full go in pads today, full go. So he is feeling good, ready to roll. And apparently the word is that Chris Olave is really making some strides. He's making catches, making plays. This is eerily similar to what I heard about Michael Thomas early in his first camp, where Drew Brees was just raving about him, and then we see what transpired over the next 3 years where he was setting all these kinds of records. I'm not suggesting Chris Olave is going to set a bunch of NFL records like Mike Thomas did, but it appears that this is going to be a first-round draft pick hit, and it was a spot they desperately needed a talent infusion, and they're getting it.
Yeah, no, he's huge, and I think I love the pick the second they made it. I thought that's exactly what that receiver room looked like when we looked at the Saints have struggles last year, is because you literally didn't have any sort of threat on the outside. And I think being a guy that's that explosive, and the sneaky thing that I've seen just from highlights, He catches the ball really well, and most of the time you get those speed guys. They struggle with catching the ball, but Chris is a great guy with his hands, and hand-eye coordination is really high, and he has speed to burn, and that's stuff you just can't coach. So I intend on him having a big-time rookie year. If him and Jameis can get on the same page, we see Jameis trying to take some deep shots down the field. I think that's going to be a great time for the Saints.
Taysom Hill in full pads out going through drills today. He was in a red no-contact jersey, did not participate in the full team portion of the practice, but did go through some drills. He's getting very, very close to returning. So right now, the health of the Saints looks pretty good. Guys are returning. You've gotten Tyrann Mathieu back. You've gotten Taysom Hill back. Marcus Davenport has been out there. So they're moving in the right direction there. The Saints will play the Texans on Saturday in their first of 3 preseason games.
Thanks so much for watching Hunt Hill on YouTube.
Now do us a favor. Hit the red subscribe button below and throw us a like. We'll see you next time.